With nearly 60,000 stars on GitHub, the adoption velocity of this educational repository rivals core open-source frameworks. That global explosion is driven by an automated translation engine running entirely through GitHub Actions, syncing the curriculum across more than 50 languages simultaneously. If you manage an engineering team right now, say 50 developers, you already know the bottleneck. Upscaling engineers in agentic AI is a nightmare of scattered documentation and conflicting standards. Your team wastes hours stitching together outdated Reddit threads and debugging hallucinated code blocks. To actually scale a team's capabilities, you need rigid, systematic order, not a graveyard of half-finished tutorials. This Microsoft repository establishes a standardized baseline curriculum across an entire engineering organization. It pulls your developers out of tutorial hell and gets them speaking the exact same architectural language. This flowchart lays out the 12-step roadmap, starting with basic agentic patterns up to multi-agent metacognition. Rather than reading passive documentation, engineers execute concepts directly through interactive Jupyter notebooks, writing Python right in the browser. Because it lives on GitHub, this syllabus is highly active. A community of contributors continuously tests and adapts these examples for live production environments. Look at GitHub issue 401, where engineers actively collaborate on migrating these sandbox notebooks into deployable single-file application formats. By forcing developers to engage directly with the code and the community, the structure successfully transitions them from passive learners into active contributors, building real tools. Once the foundations are set, the curriculum pushes into more advanced capabilities. Lesson 15, focusing on browser use, introduces a significant leap in complexity. Here, engineers program agents to autonomously open a browser, navigate web pages, read dynamic content, and interact with forms across the open internet. Handling that much unstructured web data requires massive context windows, which is why the repository integrates architectural support for models like MiniMax. This animation illustrates how that scale operates. The MiniMax model can process up to 204,000 tokens simultaneously. That means an agent can ingest dozens of complex web pages, complete API documentations, or massive codebases all at once to make a single, informed decision. Mastering the synergy between browser navigation and 200,000 token context windows marks the transition from basic API integration to the creation of autonomous digital workers. But evaluating any tool means looking at the total cost of ownership, and there is a glaring structural limitation baked deep into this curriculum. These code blocks are strictly locked into branded containers. Lessons require the Microsoft Agent Framework and an Azure AI Foundry account. If your organization mandates open source stacks, or AWS, you face immediate friction. Adapting these integrations into generic Python requires considerable engineering. Microsoft has constructed a highly effective, standardized onboarding ramp, but it deliberately funnels your developers directly into their proprietary walled garden. As an engineering leader, your choice is clear. Deploying this curriculum accelerates your team's development cycles, but you must accept that initial vendor lock-in. Are you willing to trade your team's architectural independence for the speed of an enterprise-ready workflow? If you are navigating these technical trade-offs, hit subscribe so you don't miss our weekly architectural tool reviews. Next week, we are taking a deep dive breakdown into another heavy-hitting Microsoft framework, AutoGen. See you there.